in multiple tournaments. So he was on the plate here. And we'll see if Gerry's able to draw the removal portion of his deck. As you did mention, he does have a lot of removal spells, Grixis control deck. I've got some Lightning Bolts, of course, some Terminates, some Kolaghan's commands as well. So those are going to play a big role in things.
It should be pretty good for him.
Eric has a lot of things on turn 1. Signal Pest, Ornithopter, Memnite, and a Blinkmoth Nexus.
And this is the type of draw, if he doesn't have a Cranial Plating or an Overseer in his hand, killing that Signal Pest is just going to blank his board.
Polluted Delta is where Gerry is going to start. Well, his follow-ups were actually pretty good. There was an Arcbound Ravager and a Vault Scourge, but what Eric's missing is another land. So Ravager down, and Gerry taking the Ravager because he feels like he can beat the Vault Scourge and all the leftovers.
Sure.
Signal Pest the draw.
It's actually a very good draw.
Yeah. There is Signal Pest, and here come the beatdowns. It'll be an attack here for 4. Thompson going to fall down to 15 now. Back Thompson's way will go. He will draw a card. He does have a basic mountain in hand. Picked up a copy of Thought Scour. He's already under the gun. These are the kind of draws that Affinity can have. Even though there's no payoff card here, in a weird way, Signal Pest is a good enough payoff card.
Well, it definitely is, and they're piling up together.
There's Terminate. Take care of 1 Signal Pest. Has to pass the turn back. Got to get those Signal Pests off the board right away. Hawkins will draw a card. Didn't get a great look at it, but we know he's got a Vault Scourge in hand.
And just like I was saying, these are the draws. If Gerry has a bunch of counterspells in his hand, they're not doing anything this game.
Nope. Inkmoth Nexus was the draw. Here comes the Vault Scourge. He'll pay 2 life for that. And we'll see another attack here for 4. Thompson going to fall down to 15. Now would be a great time for a Kolaghan's command. Scalding Tarn in Thompson's hand. Jace was the draw. You mentioned one of the things that Eric is missing is a Cranial Plating. If he had one of those or his draw is one of those next turn, this game changes quite a bit.
Oh, yeah.
But all the Affinity player can do right now is sit with his arms folded and hope things don't get too ugly. Thompson going to search up a basic island as he falls down to 10.
What do you think about the Gerry T lands here?
I approve.
They're nice.
I approve of these lands. I believe APOC.
I don't know.
But this is one of my weaknesses, actually, knowing exactly what lands these are.
I'm not real sharp with my land game.
Twitter will, they'll let me know.
Oh, yeah.
They'll let me know real quick how wrong I am. They're really good at that. Here's a Serum Visions. Thompson will draw a card. Now I'll get the Scry twice. See what he wants to do with the Scry here. Clearly does not have Kolaghan's command this turn. The question is, does he have a removal spell to play? Looks like both cards are going to go to the bottom. He'll just pass the turn back over to Eric. Eric will draw a card. I think it actually was Cranial Plating.
It looks like Cranial Plating.
Yeah. Now the question is, does he want to deploy Plating, or does he want to fire up Blinkmoth Nexus and try to keep pushing through damage? Well, he's allowed to attack. I mean, Thompson is nothing.
Yep. Looks like this is 6 damage coming in here.
Yep. Now there's a Plating, pass the turn back. And Gerry's in a whole lot of trouble right now. Jace the draw, and this game is over. Eric Hawkins going to win game number 1 here over Gerry Thompson. Affinity very quickly up a game over Grixis control. And that's what you kind of mentioned with the removal. It plays a huge role in things. And even though Eric didn't have a real payoff card there, Signal Pests, they were good enough.
Well, he came out so fast, and you saw Gerry die with a Snapcaster Mage in his hand and a Terminate in his graveyard.
Yeah.
It was just too fast.
That can happen sometimes when you play against Affinity. No Ravager, no Steel Overseer, no Cranial Plating really. And clearly not needed, as Eric Hawkins says, win game number 1. So we go to the sideboard here, and we'll take a look at what both players are working with. On Thompson's side, 3 Fulminator Mage, 2 Bitter Blossom, 2 Dispel, a Peace Strider, a Jerby Merc Lurker, a Vandal Blast, a Counter Squall, an Engineer Explosives, a Crumble to Dust, an Instant Static Caster, and a Tribute to Hunger. A lot of options here for him.
Sure.
Which do you like? What would you think you would do in this spot, especially given your Grixis control pedigree? You've played the deck quite a bit.
Well, I feel like his main deck is actually already fairly strong in this matchup, so I wouldn't want to get too far away from it. That being said, the Vandal Blast obviously coming in. The Staticaster is going to be really good in situations like we just saw there. And possibly the Engineered Explosives, almost definitely the Engineered Explosives is going to come in as well. I would be surprised if he had a whole lot of counter spells left in his deck after sideboarding.
He's playing 3 copies of Mana Leak in his main deck here this weekend. Just not a card that's going to play particularly well in the matchup. I think you're more concerned about answering the threats after they come onto the table. There are times where counter magic is okay, but he's got a lot of removal. I'm curious to see if he's going to bring in a card like Bitter Blossom or Fulminator Mage in the matchup. Those are options. Fulminator Mage, of course, taking care of the creature lands, and Bitter Blossom providing flyers to be able to block Signal Pest and all that stuff. For Eric Hawkins, 2 Ancient Grudge, a Blood Moon, 2 Gerry Aether Grid, a Whip Flare, Dismember, an Etch Champion, a Relic of Progenitus, a Choke, 3 Thoughtseize, 2 Stubborn Isle. Any of these cards scare you as a Grixis control player?
Well, it's interesting. It depends a lot on what route Eric wants to take here. Something like Blood Moon can be very devastating depending on the draw that Gerry gets. But we saw that the first game Gerry was careful about not paying too much life fetching up Shocklands. So if he's already saving life by searching up basics, the Blood Moon's not going to be very good against him.
What other routes do you think he can go besides Blood Moon?
Well, the Thoughtseizes and Stubborn Denials might come in as a way to fight a lot of that removal. The Relic of Progenitus seems very good against a deck that's just filled with Jace and Snapcaster Mages.
And I wouldn't be surprised to see the Etch Champion as well. I think, the protection from color is actually pretty good. No guarantee that it's always going to be on, but I think that's a pretty decent option as well here for Eric. So both players already sideboarding here pretty quickly. Game number 2 going to be underway in just a moment. We'll talk about the pre-release that is taking place at Star City Games for Oath of the Gatewatch. We have Oath of the Gate Hop. That's the name of our playmat. Pre-release takes place January 16th and the 17th. You can pre-register today at go.starcitygames.com/pre-release. Pretty simple stuff here. You get this elimination playmat for free whenever you do enter any flight. So if you're coming out to the Star City Game Center for the pre-release, Oath of the Gate Hop is our playmat. You can go about getting that there. And if you aren't able to make it to the Star City Game Center, and we have any extras, head over to StarCityGames.com Monday morning. You can pick up any of the extra ones that we do have. They'll be available for purchase on the website, go.starcitygames.com/pre-release for more information about the Oath of the Gatewatch pre-release January 16th and the 17th. Pre-register today as we get ready here for game number 2. We will learn a little bit more about Gerry Thompson, who, that's a Mountain Dew. I thought he switched.
Back on the Dew.
He had a Coke in the car last night when we went to dinner.
He couldn't stay away.
Yeah, well, I guess not. A lot of career highlights for Gerry. 6 Invitational top 8s with 2 wins, 18 Open Series top 8s with 5 Ws, a Pro Tour top 8, a Pro Tour Gate Crash, 9 GP top 8s with 2 victories in Nashville and 2008 in Denver.
The man can cast some spells.
He's pretty good at this thing we call magic. Currently practicing partner acrobatics, and the big one.
Is that what the 2 of you have been doing so much?
Yeah,
recently?
that's what we do a lot. We've been really practicing.
Okay.
We'll get to that later.
Okay.
That's for SCG After Dark. $20,000 underneath his bed in a shoebox at one point.
This is true. You think they make these things up just to have the boards be interesting and quirky? No.
Again, fact sheet.
Yeah.
That's what they're named. Jason Ford, a friend, holds the rights to the name of his firstborn child. Also true. But the $20,000 underneath his bed, I can confirm that was true. As he does not... he just does not believe in the banking system.
The height of a responsible adult,
Does not really believe in the banking system. So there you go. Gerry Thompson, everybody. Currently down a game. He'll be on the play here for game number 2. I think that was awesome when you were living with him in Indianapolis.
Yeah.
See, no one could find the box because of all the Mountain Dew cans.
Sure.
You're so distracted by that, some of which are still half full, that how could you ever...
If you were to rob that house and you walked into that room, you would just immediately walk back out of that room.
There's nothing in here.
Yeah, there's no chance there's $20,000 in a box under the bed.
A steam vents here from Thompson as Hawkins has boarded in the Relic of Progenitus. That's where he'll start this game. We'll be heading back Gerry's way here. He does have an Instatic Caster in hand. There's also a Lightning Bolt and a basic island.
And you see Gerry, kind of telegraphing that Lightning Bolt by paying the life to have the steam vents untapped on turn 1.
Yeah, curious, clearly what he's doing there is leaving that up. Also kind of maybe bluffing something like a Spell Snare, Spell Pierce, stuff like that. But, is he able to just take the 2 points of damage? Maybe he feels like he can simply because Eric's mulligan to 5. If Eric keeps 7, maybe that's not the case. But
sure.
When he's down to 5, less cards to be concerned about. Unlikely to have the kind of start that he had in game number 1 because there's less cards in his hand. So Gerry feels as though he can take 2. Eric now has a Signal Pest, card that caused Gerry so much trouble in game 1. Now there's an Ornithopter.
And it looks like this is a game where Jerry's going to get to play all of his cards.
Yeah.
Get the maximum value. Or not the maximum value.
I'm surprised. Just going straight to Snapcaster Mage that turn. Maybe he's a little short on land, perhaps? There's also a relic out there, I suppose.
Sure.
I guess his thought is Snapcaster Mage is not going to do very much this game. Engineered Explosive is going to come down for 1. And Thompson will simply pass the turn back over to Hawkins. See if Eric wants to use his relic now or wait. He'll cash it. There it is. A little bluff. Now I'll draw a card.
Tap it, Alt U, tap it again. I fired up Moto for the first time in, probably 18 months.
Yeah.
And Alt U is not Alt U anymore.
It's changed. It's changed, yeah. You learn that the hard way.
I had to get in touch with one of the orcs.
Yeah. Help me.
Yeah.
Ornithopter going to die to a lightning bolt. There's another Ornithopter. Darksteel Citadel. The champ is here. We're going to go back Thompson's way now. The champ is always going to be online. 2 Darksteel Citadels out there. So Metalcraft will not be an issue. Now the question becomes, is Thompson going to be able to overcome that?
It's going to be a bigger problem when that plating comes down.
Yep. Keep in mind, this is a mulligan to 5 here from Hawkins. Affinity a little bit more resilient than people think. Thompson's land for the turn is the Polluted Delta. You see he's got a Snapcaster Mage in hand. He's just going to pass the turn back. There's a plating, and Spellskite was the draw. I will say, given our discussion a little bit earlier about unbanning artifact lands potentially for Affinity, if they would play them or not, I think Etched Champion would be in the deck a lot.
Sure.
If the artifact lands were available.
I think the artifact lands would be a problem.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Hawkins going to start by attacking here. Signal Pest will trigger for Battle Cry. And Thompson's not going to sacrifice the Polluted Delta. See what land he wants to search up. Going to go with a basic Swamp. Remember, does have Engineer Explosives out there. It is on 1. Can blow up a Signal Pest if he'd like to.
He has a bolt in his hand. He has a Snapcaster Mage for the bolt in the yard.
He'll go to Snapcaster Mage here.
And I believe he had an, is it Stratocaster?
Staticaster.
Staticaster.
Staticaster. Ready to fire away. Here is Lightning Bolt. That'll take care of Ornithopter. He'll take 3 from the Etched Champion. And there's Spellskite. Pass the turn back. Glimmer Void available.
So Eric doesn't have to be worried about dying anytime soon. So he's taking the extra turn to get the Spellskite out there as an insurance policy, protecting the equipment in his hand.
Sure.
You know, you want to just slam that cranial plating, equip, attack, get all that damage in. But if Gerry has an answer, then you're back to just 2 or 3 points a turn. Taking the 1 extra turn off to ensure that you can protect it is going to be a big benefit.
And I also think it's pretty smart, too, for the reasons you mentioned. But also, you don't have to worry about, at least I think for Eric, you don't have to really be concerned about counter magic.
Yeah.
I think you're thinking after sideboard, all of my spells are going to resolve. It's just important that I played them in the right order. And now here comes Cranial Plating. We're going to see if that'll resolve or not. In Thompson's hand right now, he does have Kolagun's Command. But Spellskite is making this difficult. Equip on the Etched Champion is the plan. Here come the attackers. Spellskite wants to jump in too. There's a Battle Cry trigger after all.
Spellskite wants his.
Doesn't mind. There's Staticaster. Staticaster will resolve. It looks like it'll jump in front of Spellskite. And a healthy amount of damage will be dealt.
It's a lot of damage.
Yeah, Thompson going to fall down to 6. He'll draw a card right now. I think it may have been a copy of Dispel. Is there anything that he can do here about this cranial plating on Etched Champion? I don't think Kolaghan's Command gets him out of this situation.
Well, you can ping the Spellskite
A
and
lightning
then bolt
bolt.
it.
Okay,
Yep.
got it.
So he does have a path here.
Now there's Kolaghan's Command. Kill that, make you discard your card. Snapcaster Mage will come across. All right, we have a little bit of a race here now.
Yeah, he has hope.
Yep, there are some cards that Eric can draw, like Cranial Plating this turn, which will be quite good. You saw him rub his hands together. Maybe he feels this one might be slipping away a little bit. There's Arcbound Ravager. It's not lethal right now, though. If he sacrifices both the artifact lands and the Ravager, he's one short.
Well, and it removes the protection from the Etched Champion.
Yeah. He's just going to pass the turn back after attacking for 2. Thompson's going to fall down to 4. Thompson will draw a card. Picked up a copy of Serum Visions. There are some redraws available here to Eric Hawkins. Or excuse me, to Gerry Thompson. Eric Hawkins is just playing the top card of his deck. What's also a little unique about this situation is how Gerry wants to go about using that Staticaster here.
Just a reminder, Magic players, we are still taking signups until the conclusion of stress. Those signups are for
It looks like it might be Serum Visions and Murderous cut in hand. It's going to start by casting Serum Visions. Draw a card. 2 cards here for the Scry. Another Serum Visions was found.
We'll do this again.
Yeah. The card that he's looking for right now is Pete and Kieran Delar.
Sure.
It'll make 2 Thopters. The Metalcraft text on Etched Champion won't matter.
They can block, yes.
Yeah, he just needs a little bit of time to block. Staticaster are going to shoot the Ravager. Okay. Here come the attacks. Will Thompson play the other Serum Visions in his hand? Appears the answer is no. So we go back Eric's way. We'll see what this draw step is. He'll slow roll himself a little bit.
And all of us.
Yep.
Thanks for that, Eric.
The Etched Champion is a 4-power creature. Or excuse me, 3-power creature.
It's 3 right now.
Sorry. It needs to be a 4-power creature.
Yeah, it looks like Jerry's going to get one more turn. And depending on what he left on top of his deck, Lightning Bolt, Snapcaster Mage.
There's Vault Scourge.
Well, that's not going to stick around with the Staticaster.
Yep. Can he finish the game off? He'll draw a card. Kill that. His draw was Tribute to Hunger.
Oh, wow.
That'll do just fine from the sideboard. Tribute to Hunger will take care of the champ. Here come the beatdowns. Thompson will gain a little bit of life. Blinkmoth Nexus was the draw.
Yep.
Jerry's going to make it out of that one barely alive there over Eric Hawkins. Grixis Control Affinity getting ready for game number 3. See Hawkins in that spot. I think it's a little bit interesting. With Ravager, he could have sacrificed a Darksteel Citadel, put another counter on his Etched Champion, but then it'll influence the way Gerry attacks because there's no Metalcraft active, so Eric would have drawn a Vault Scourge.
No Metalcraft, and his champion becomes so vulnerable.
Yeah.
When he targets it with the Metalcraft charm, not the Metalcraft.
The Ravager.
The Graft?
Modular.
Modular.
Yep.
When he targets it with the Modular, there's a chance for Gerry to deal 2 damage to it, 3 damage to it.
Murders cut it.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, whatever he wants.
So I think it was actually, I think Eric's line of play, even though he didn't know Jerry's hand, was actually correct.
Yes.
Don't, shove in on it or anything
Definitely.
like that, because then it would have died to Murderous Cut, and then winning the game from there is actually pretty easy for Gerry. So a timely Tribute to Hunger there for Thompson. You see one of those in his sideboard, able to take care of the Etched Champion. You see the sideboard options available. Do you think anything changes player draw here?
I thought it was very interesting seeing the Tribute to Hunger. He got it the perfect situation. That's exactly what he wants. He can't deal with the Etched Champion.
Yep.
So he's got something that makes his opponent sacrifice a creature. But there's so many little things. There's the man lands, all the 0 casting costs. You got to clear all of those out of the way first before you can ever get an Etched Champion. But I guess Gerry thinks that that's a reliable answer.
Yeah, it almost feels like that's what his deck after sideboard is kind of built to do.
Yeah.
Which is I can Staticaster this down, I can bolt this, Kolaghan's Command that, and eventually I can whittle you down enough that you're forced to shove onto something, and then I contribute to Hunger it away. It's at least how that particular game played out, so kudos to him for bringing that in. Also, maybe a little bit of life gain can't hurt.
Oh, yeah.
So able to draw the Tribute to Hunger in the perfect spot to get himself out of that situation. Get ready here for game number 3. They'll shuffle up, get ready for game 3. Hawkins will be on the play. We'll talk about SCG Game Night now, the very popular promotion that we do bring your way. Get some friendly, fun, casual play into your store. We got some fun new promotions here.
Get some tokens.
Our good friend Grizzly Brand, who you've decided is in a pair of boxers here.
You tell me.
Well, I think it's open interpretation.
Okay.
So we're going to go with boxers then.
It looks like boxers.
Okay. He's been interrupted from just kind of hanging out on the couch.
I don't know. He's got his paper wings on there. It looks like he was playing outdoors a little bit or something.
In boxers.
Hey.
I've done that before. Who am I
I was going to say.
That's true. Who am I to judge Grizzly Brand here? For the month of February, we have Magus of the Moo. And then now remember, this is where you make your money. For March.
Oh, yeah. The Grim Llama-mancer.
Perfect. Well done. That's a play on Grim Lavamancer, obviously. StarCityGames.com/game night for more information. Do get signed up today to bring some fun and friendly casual play any night of the week you guys want to run in. Of course, for our Canadian players and store owners, you can now bring this there for cheaper. It is at domestic rates now. So StarCityGames.com/game night for more information. Get signed up today. Get yourself a Grim Lavamancer in March.
Is it Patrick that names all the animals?
It is not. It is our wonderfully creative.
No, I mean he gives them formal names.
Oh yeah, that's kind of a team thing. But by all means.
Oh, I have nothing right now. I was just wondering if we needed to reach out to him.
Oh, for the Grim Lavamancer? Potentially.
Okay.
Potentially, yeah, we could have a conversation. Sometimes I rarely do I think of anything. I'm not particularly creative with names and puns and stuff like that, but sometimes, Grim Lavamancer definitely has a name available.
Sure.
I'm not quite sure what it is. Also, Twitter jumps in sometimes.
Sometimes.
They're very passionate about this. They helped us name the hippo. I believe the name of the hippo was Polly.
That's a fine one.
If memory serves, Otter von Bismarck was the name of the otter.
Patrick, I believe, was responsible for.
Yeah, it was him there. That was all him there. But Twitter approved. Twitter's approval of the name is very important.
Naming an otter Otto.
Well, it's not, great naming.
Not such a stretch, but
you have to give credit.
But it fits.
Yeah, it does. You have to give credit where it's due. He did a good job.
So what you're telling our fans is that the best name they tweet at you for the Llama-mancer, you will take out to Waffle House.
I did not know. So
is that what I was hearing?
I think you're having difficulty with this because that's not really what I said.
I wonder if my headset's broken.
But well, we've been having trouble with them recently.
I hear a lot about free Waffle House.
Yeah, we've been having some trouble with the headsets recently. Oh, see, already jumping in. Magus of the Moo, Sailor Moo.
Sailor Moo.
See, that's great. I think that's a fantastic name there by LJ Mysticow on Twitter. Very well done.
All right.
So Sailor Moo is the front runner for Magus of the Moo right now. Grizzly Brand, open to interpretation. We can name that something, as well as Grim Lavamancer. Names are important, I think. See, here we go. Llama translates to flames in Spanish. See, I didn't know that. Did you know that?
No.
Platypus Jedi knew that on Twitter.
Okay. Did he come up with a name or just?
That's just a fun fact for us to take with us. Because I didn't know that. And then he sent me a link to a Stoke the Flames in a different language. See, you just learn stuff doing this, which is great. Graham? So it's Graham for the Grim Lavamancer, right? Graham Lavamancer? How do we feel about that?
Yeah. Keep them coming.
It's a team thing.
Yeah. Keep them coming.
As apparently, Grizzly Brand is wearing a plaid kilt.
Oh, sure.
So
boxers.
Yes. Grim Lavamancer, a.k.a. good old Spitfire. Now, Daniel, it's not going to work. We can do better than that. Here's a Volt Scourge.
Well, because llamas spit.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And the Lavamancer throws fire.
Yep.
Spit fire.
Yep.
They both work.
Yep.
There's so many levels.
Yep.
Two of them.
Yep. Here's a sulfur pulse from Gerry. We're going to go back Eric's way. His second turn is going to bring a cranial plating along with it. Vault Scourge is going to come across for one. It's 19 all now.
Okay, so 2 creature lands, a threat, and a plating.
What more can you ask for? Vandal Blast will take care of that. There's a creeping tar pit, pass the turn back. Got to get the cranial plating off the battlefield. The threats, those are not hard for Gerry to take care of. Cranial plating a little bit more difficult. Signal Pest going to show up. Here comes Blinkmoth Nexus. And if that's Eric's third turn, if I'm Gerry, I am thrilled.
Yep.
I could not be happier. Inquisition of Kozilek the draw. Not a great time to draw a discard spell. You have to imagine Eric's hand is probably pretty weak because he could have played anything. Eric going to take a look at Vandal Blast.
Sure, but Gerry might feel obligated to play it here anyway because it's only going to get worse as the game goes on.
That's also true. Pluto Delta, so Gerry does have a third land if he wants to play it. I see Tina, a good name for the Grim Llama-mancer.
Oh, you know what that's from?
I do know.
Okay.
Napoleon Dynamite, a
Yeah.
great movie. Here's an Staticaster. What I've noticed about this particular game, and the second one as well, the sideboard cards that he has for this matchup, very good.
So potent.
The
Yeah.
Vandal Blast, Tribute to Hunger, even, I wasn't clear how good that was going to be. That played a big role in things. And now the Staticaster has shown up yet again, and it plays a huge role in this matchup. Very nice card.
It looks like a big problem.
Yeah. I just can't imagine Eric having many answers to this card either after sideboard.
Nope.
It's unclear if he would leave in a card like Galvanic Blast because Galvanic Blast does not kill a card like Tasigur.
So what just happened there, I'm not a big fan of.
Oh, do tell.
When my opponent reaches out to spread out my hand to see how many cards I'm holding,
Okay.
just ask me, man. I'll tell you.
Don't touch my cards.
Yeah.
Ah.
I don't know, it just feels weird. My face down hand, like, don't want anyone touching
So
me.
when I play against you next, I know my plan. Gonna get you, well, maybe a little tilty. Not on tilt.
Probably not that tilted.
A little tilty. Gonna reach on over into your personal space. I wonder how many cards are over there.
I'll get you anyway.
You'll probably win.
Yeah, I mean,
That
you're not going to see the elephant coming.
Yeah. I will be ambushed by an elephant. 2 Blinkmoth Nexuses out here for Eric. Looks like gonna fire up at least one. Might have a second one firing up here as well. Eric's hand not particularly good right now. I think that's the biggest issue.
Yeah.
He's got 2 more copies of Glimmer Void and a Galvanic Blast. So he's got to turn on both of these Blinkmoth Nexus to Galvanic Blast, a Staticaster. There's a Glimmer Void, and now he's going to attack. Just not a great 4th turn.
Yep.
And then again, this is a situation, if you're Gerry, you are thrilled with how things are going.
Not a lot of pressure.
Yeah. Looks like Blackleaf Cliffs was the draw. Tribute to Hunger in hand again.
Yep.
But this is kind of what you mentioned, where Tribute to Hunger doesn't even seem like good in this game.
Nope.
It just lined up perfectly in game number 2. I still think it's worth bringing in because gaining life matters. And there are situations that he can craft, as we saw in game 2, where it can be an absolute all-star. There's an Inquisition. Last card is Glimmer Void. Coast is clear to do whatever the heck he wants. Are we getting to cranial plating or bust territory?
It's getting close because Gerry T has the Pia and Kieran Nalaar in his grip, which is going to be a huge problem.
Blinkmoth Nexus, Vault Scourge going to come into the red zone. Thompson's hand, there's a Snapcaster Mage over there. Pia and Kieran, as you did mention. And now Blinkmoth Nexus is going to be pumped by a Blinkmoth Nexus. We'll see if Thompson has a response here. It looks like the answer is no. So he'll take 3, fall down to 10. Hawkins will gain a little bit more life. There's a Darksteel Citadel, pass the turn back. Hawkins knows exactly... Excuse me, Thompson knows exactly what Hawkins is working with that Glimmer Void.
Perfect information here.
Yep. And now there's Pia and Kieran. 2 Thopters on the way. And we'll head back Eric Hawkins' way. And if you can cast this card on a fairly stable board, it's very, very hard for Affinity to win.
Well, he might just trade, I don't know, it's not much damage, but he might just trade the 2 tokens right away for 1 Nexus, just to free up his mana for later turns.
Sure. A lot of relevant text on Pia and Kieran Nalaar. Eric very quickly fired up his Blinkmoth Nexus. He's going to serve in here. Thompson going to block a Vault Scourge.
Sure.
That's it. So 1 damage will come through. Vault Scourge and a Thopter will trade. There's a Glimmer Void. And now here's the champ. So we're going to go Thompson's way now. I think Eric is wondering, is it PN that deals the damage to Edge Champion? Because it currently doesn't have Metalcraft, but he could give it Metalcraft right away.
Sure. Gerry T has all of his pretty foreign cards, but then no one knows what they do.
Hey, some things never change. He's been doing that for a better part of a decade.
Oh, yeah.
He loves his foreign cards. So we'll take a look at PN Kieran really quick as well. So I think that's what the holdup is. That's exactly what Eric's looking for and wants to know exactly how that card works. And it says sacrifice an artifact. PN Kieran deals the 2 damage, so it is red damage, not colorless.
Sure.
Thompson will draw a card, picked up a copy of Serum Visions.
So Gerry T kind of wanted another land there. He could cast the Tribute to Hunger, and when his opponent activates the man land, he can shoot it down with the P and Kieran Nalar to get both of them. But he still seems well in control of this game. He's got a healthy life total.
He doesn't get to make what I would call like the optimal play that you mentioned, but it's still a lot of play to be had here.
Yes.
Snapcaster Mage in hand, resolving a Serum Visions, figuring out how he wants to scry here. Looks like Coleon's Command among the cards he's found.
Not a bad one.
There are worse cards to find. We have been informed here by one of the graphic designers of Star City Games, Ray Dill, that Grizzly Brand is tangled in a picnic blanket, not boxers, he swears.
Okay. Picnic blanket.
I believe it.
I always go out wearing my nicest picnic blanket.
P and Kieran going to come into the red zone.
No, I appreciate that. You know, they watch the stream, they reach out to us.
Oh, yeah. It's an interactive stream. It'd be no fun if it wasn't interactive.
Well, I also like that it's complete. They know what they're doing when they made the card.
Oh, no accident.
They're not just like, oh, let's just draw some things on here and people can decide what it is for themselves.
It can be interpretive, but there is a goal in mind. For Eric, he'll draw. Well, there's another creature land. It's a Blinkmoth Nexus, the third one of those. He's confident enough to fire up one of these.
He's got them in reserves.
Yep. Thompson at 9. Life total a little low, not terribly low. Hawkins going to come in here. Again, remember, Gerry does have Tribute to Hunger in hand currently. Has the mana to activate Pia and Kieran. I like this play a lot because I don't think he's going to be able to configure a situation like we saw with Tribute the last game.
Yeah.
And it's kind of bottlenecking what he's doing, but also he's got Snapcaster Mage in hand too. So I think the first casting of this is okay. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, he's got to just start getting some of these creature lands off of the table and open up a path to get rid of the champion at some point.
Okay. There's a pump.
There's going to be a pump and then an activate of a non-attacking creature land.
Okay.
That'll get sacrificed.
Joe gain a life there. It's a smart play by Eric.
Now Gerry has to decide if he wants to chump block.
He'd be taking 4 here and falling down to 6 if he does not block. And it looks like he's okay falling down to 6. To juggle the life total. Now Gerry left on top of his deck a copy of Kolaghan's Command.
It's a good card.
Yes, it is. Pia and Kieran going to come across here yet again. Hawkins going to fall down to 19. Thompson right now looks like he's going to play a copy of Jace.
And it looks like Gerry has all the pieces to win this game. He just has to be very careful with how he does it.
Yeah. Thought sees the draw here from Hawkins. That's what it feels like to me, too. It feels like the walls are caving in here on Eric. His draw steps have to be phenomenal in the next 2 turns, I would say.
But he's so close.
Yeah. You can feel it slipping away. The champion's trying to get him across the finish line. Three Glimmer Voids, 2 Blinkmoth Nexus, Darksteel Citadel, Etch Champion. Those are all on the battlefield there for Hawkins. And then Thoughtseize in hand. Champ thinking about coming in. All right, just the champ.
And it's not Metalcraft right now.
Yeah, so Thompson gets the ability to block.
Yep.
And I think this is a cognizant decision by Eric to basically say, okay, you can block if you want to.
Sure.
And then I can just immediately give my creature protection.
Well, he gave Gerry the option to chump block with Jace if he wanted to.
Yep. What's also interesting about this, however, is Gerry does not want to go to 4. I don't think, even though I think he's going to 4.
Well, he does have the Thopter that can jump in front of the champion at any point.
Yeah, I mean, the only reason I don't want to go to 4 is because of Galblast.
Sure.
And he has the ability, Eric has the ability to just cast that and put Gerry down to 0 immediately. That's the thing that I guess I would be most scared of. Now, if Gerry's got a read on the situation, doesn't think Eric has Galvanic Blast, or he thinks that Galvanic Blast would be good anyway, then, that changes the dynamic of the decision. I would just be a little scared to go to 4 in that spot.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised with how many resources Gerry still has at his disposal that he was willing to take that damage. If he does lose this game, it'll probably be with spells still in his hand, and that's just not the situation you want to be in.
Lightning Bolt to draw. I also think Eric's done a pretty nice job of at least kind of concealing what the card he drew was, because Thoughtseize a pretty miserable draw right now.
Sure.
An activation of Jace here. Thompson picked up a copy of Steam Vents. Lightning Bolt was the draw for the turn, so he's got to discard a card, and then Jace is going to transform into the Telepath Unbound. There is Jace. It's on 5.
And we'll see if Gerry wants the Tribute to Hunger. We'll see if he wants the Vandal Blast.
Couple different routes. He wants the Tribute. Eric gonna activate a Nexus. Pretty good time for a Lightning Bolt.
Oh, yeah.
Daniel Young, please report to the main event stage. Also, Robert Beatty, please report to the main event stage.
So Lightning Bolt's going to target the Blinkmoth Nexus that Eric wanted to sacrifice. We'll see if Eric will have a response here or not. Because this is also starting to make Metalcraft difficult for his Etch Champion, too.
Oh, yeah. If he loses the other Nexus, and doesn't draw an artifact next turn, that champion is very naked.
Yep. Interesting back and forth here. If you're Eric in this spot, what do you think you do?
I think you're in on the Etch Champion. I think if you end up sacrificing it, it's 2 more life that Gerry gains, and you lose by far your best threat.
Okay.
So you probably just have to fire up another land, sacrifice it, lose both the lands, and hope you draw an artifact that closes this game out.
Okay. A Lightning Bolt will resolve.
Begin at 9 a.m. The Legacy Classic at 9:30. We are taking registration tonight for these events. If you want to talk to my friend Steve or Liz.
Now Tribute's still on the stack.
You can get your registration
Looks like Eric's going to activate this. And now he'll sacrifice it. So Thompson will gain a life. Go up to 5. And you're going to fire in here with Pia and Kieran. Hawkins will fall down to 17. Eric going to quickly untap. Thoughtseize in hand. Draw a card for the turn. Didn't get a great look at it.
Yeah, hard to see that one.
May have been a Mox Opal.
Not the all-star he was looking for.
Not so much. There's a Mox. Does turn on Metalcraft, but mana and colors have not been an issue.
Oh, this is so tough. If he takes a turn off to kill the Planeswalker?
Yeah, you're thrilled.
Yeah.
There's a block. So Gerry wants to keep the Planeswalker around. Also, the Planeswalker's not going to check Etch Champion. Here's Thoughtseize. Yep.
Well, it would if the Cold Guns command could kill an artifact.
Yes.
But he still has the Snapcaster Mage to do it too.
Yep. So the hand of Snapcaster Mage and Kolaghan's Command. Eric is choosing between those for Thoughtseize. It's rocking a hard place. I don't even.
Yeah. These two cards they're good buddies.
Yeah. Not quite sure what you're supposed to take here.
He's asking Gerry, like what?
What would you take?
If I get rid of one, do you promise not to return the other one? Honestly, I think you discard the Kolaghan's Command here.
Just because Snapcaster plus Kolaghan's Command is more mana?
Yes.
I guess. Oh man, it's hard because they're just the same thing. I guess if you take Snapcaster Mage, that's one less body you have to worry about, but then he can get it back with Kolaghan's Command, and then he can cast Snapcaster Mage and recast Kolaghan's Command. All right, he's going to take Kolaghan's Command and leave him with Snapcaster Mage. Jace the draw. That might be the worst draw in Jerry's deck right now.
Still a good draw. We're draw in his deck.
Still pretty good.
Because he'll go up with Jace this turn. And then next turn he can go down with Jace, flip the other Jace, go down with that Jace.
It's a Jace party.
Oh, yeah. They're dancing. There's some drinks.
Yeah. Everyone's having a blast.
Yeah.
Snapcaster Mage, I think we're going to have Kolaghan's Command in the upkeep. Or, excuse me, in the draw step. Yep. So Kolaghan's Command in the draw step. Going to kill Mox Opal and make Eric discard a card. And the card he drew, nothing he can play in instant speed. Now Etch Champion.
What's that, a Citadel?
I think so.
Okay.
Etch Champion now does not have Metalcraft.
Yep.
And Jace can flash back a Lightning Bolt to kill it. And then I think it might be smooth sailing.
Yeah, it's looking close to free and clear here.
Yeah. There is Lightning Bolt. Etch Champion finally down. And now it's time to close the game out. Here's an attack for 4. Hawkins going to fall down to 9. The follow-up is that Jace that Gerry drew last turn. He'll play that, pass the turn back. Eric, no cards in hand. It's going to have to be a good draw here. It's an Ink Moth next. It's not going to go the other way.
Not a great draw.
Thompson will draw a card. Picked up another land. He does have a Jason he can activate, so he'll start there. Draw and discard. Bitter Blossom the draw.
Sure.
There's a Telepath Unbound. Starts on 5. I think we're going to see a Creeping Tar Pit activation. I think it's about getting this game over with now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think more than anything, I don't think there's a way for Gerry to lose next turn. I don't think there's any card in the deck because Hawkins is not playing Shrapnel Blast.
Sure. Yeah, he doesn't have Metalcraft.
Yeah.
The plating isn't going to be enough.
Yep. I think Gerry realizes that, so he can make an aggressive attack with the Tar Pit. It'll be an attack for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hawkins is going to fall down to 2.
Which is funny. If he had attacked with the tar pit last turn instead of playing Jace, he would be
Wins the game this
finishing
turn.
off his opponent this turn.
There's a champ. Pass the turn back. But Eric is going to concede the
Yeah.
game because he knows he's beat. Gerry Thompson going to win this match here over Eric Hawkins. 2-1. Grixis Control going to make it through Affinity. And what you watch there is a management of resources.
Oh, you see the grind. Yep,
Yep.
just every little bit.
It's very important that you get those decisions correct because if Gerry slips up at any point, he's probably going to take lethal damage from some sort of creature.
Yep. Or he just won't be able to get the Edge Champion off the table later in the game.
And Eric Straw steps in that kind of mid to late game stage, not great.